thank you for joining us. And Margot, you met Rebecca last time, correct?
Correct. Hey,
Okay.
I just got a message from Kristen and she would really like, she's lost the link. She's wondering if you could, let me
I
see
can
if I can
text it to
copy
you.
it.
I don't have her phone number, so if you'll forward it, that would be great. And I know Jamie sent an email with it, but let me just forward it to you and just let her know we're going to go ahead and start, but we would love for her to join us. So, okay.
Hi,
Okay.
Kristen. Welcome.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Kristen. I was just
Hi,
forwarding
how
the
are
link
you?
to Margot for you.
Hi, thank you. Guys, I am so sorry. We're going to transfer a call that just came in to another office so that you don't have to listen
You're fine.
to this workers' comp case.
You can even put it on mute if that's better for you. Okay, so we're going to get started, and Rebecca's gal is going to get on here in just a second. We want to welcome you guys today. This is really important because we want you guys to know there's a safe place where you can all come together in a similar area in your career and know that there's people that have their arms around you and we're here to support you. So Rebecca and I have collaborated for a long time now, and we have found that multiple hands make light work. And so that is our goal for you guys, that you're not going to be on this journey alone. And although you do have Jamie as your direct team leader and Rebecca's gal has her, there may be some situations where you're just questioning if you're the only one going through something, or maybe you have a question. And so we want you guys to put your arms around each other and go through this together, because whether you're already a business professional, maybe you're retired, this is a new experience. And so you have to do the hands-on learning and growing together. So every month, Rebecca and I are going to keep you for a short 30 to 40 minutes on the second Friday of every month. So we really hope you make it a priority to come and attend. And this is going to be a safe place. The first 20 minutes will be us updating you on all the things. And then we will leave a little time open for questions. But this is something that we would like you to join and be an active participant in. We just know what it's like to have somebody else to bounce ideas off of. And so that's what we're here for you. Rebecca, any thoughts?
Well, yeah. And I would love to hear from everybody before we get into everything that we want to share with you. I'd love to hear 2 words that come to mind immediately about your business right now. Just 2 words, blurt it out, positive, negative, either way, blurt them out.
Yeah, help us know where you're at.
For
Margot?
me, it's the 2 words that came to mind are fun, right? And also challenging in the respect that I'm trying to fit it in to what's already happening, with the caveat that I don't want it to fit in. I sort of want it to be its own standalone entity with just as much attention and time that I give my current position.
That's great. Thank you. Margot, what are your 2 words?
Probably fun is one of them and the other one is non-existent.
Okay.
So tell me just a little bit more about that, Margot. Non-existent as far as you've not really gotten started yet. You're feeling like, oh, where am I at?
I just retired last Friday, Rebecca, from a 41-year career as a nurse and a 27-year career in the same position as a manager at the local hospital. I am adjusting.
Yes. And that is not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process.
And Margot, there will be a bit of a grieving process for you because it's so routine and you knew exactly where you were and what you were doing. And so that's why we're here. We want to be able to be that pincushion where you can express your Cabby highs and your Cabby lows. And why it was so important for that question is we need to meet you both where you're at as individuals in order to allow you that growth and grace. And so that's exactly why we're here. So thank you.
All right.
The other
Good deal.
thing that I think it's really important is when you come with some notes or concerns written down so that you're prepared to let us know. And so every month when you come, if it's something that's really been on you and you're wondering, bring that with you and we will have time to talk it out. This really isn't just going to be us lecturing you on the things. It's really a check-in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
hi, Sarah. She's here. So you guys, this is what's so cool about this. And I want to say this really quick. I am one of Sid Ryan Founder Organization's team leaders. We do a lot with the leader organization. And Rebecca does a lot with the Hunter organization. She and I actually stayed together in a special leadership part of CABI that is no longer existing right now because of COVID. But you guys are going to get the nuggets from the founder organizations from the top down immediately because we have all of that information. So that being said, you guys can hug each other cross organizations as well. And I really want you guys to get to know Sarah and Sarah to get to know you guys. And you've already got people established outside of just Jamie or outside of just Rebecca, because that's how we have really advanced our businesses, is really leaning into each other. So find your people, whether it's here or in another way, find your people within this organization and it will really help move you forward.
Amy, do you want to go with your information you want to share and then I'll visit about booking, or how do you want to do it?
There were some touch points from, I'm on Sid Ryan's team call, so it's her frontline girls. And there were a few things that I thought were great little nuggets about our business in particular before we dive into what you guys are doing that I thought is good information for you to know. One, our retention rate went up to over 87.3 this past season. So that's during a pandemic. They're just excited. And if you saw the highlight on currently CABI, even the show averages are higher. So if you're not using CABI Tap, do that immediately as you start your business. Don't even kind of give them an option when they come into your show. Just let them know our orders are done through CABI Tap now, because your PQV and your outside the show orders will increase just by utilizing that technology.
Amy, can I ask a quick question? When you say the retention rate is at 87%, is that the retention rate of team members or the retention rate of customers? And if so, what was the prior retention rate?
So it's of stylists.
Okay.
And we are stylists that actually work the business. So when you start looking at CABI versus some of the other direct selling companies, their retention rate and the percentage of people that actually work the business is more like 20%, because
Okay.
they have such a easy buy-in to get a discount. And that is what makes CABI so unique in the industry and why your clients continue to stay with you, because they can build a real relationship with you. So that's just a really neat statistic if you're a numbers person to understand that you are in a business that will grow over time.
Thank you.
Yes. The other thing that I think Rebecca and I are going to talk to you about is, and this is one thing that they really talked about in the Sid Ryan organization, is creating a preview for your clothes, whether that's virtually or in person, at least once a month. And I raised Jamie knowing that she should book 4 shows outside of her home a month and then a 5th one in her home. Now, that is because you always have one show to fall back onto. The idea is you can also create that as a preview. So what's really great about that is if you have somebody from, let's say, your show on Thursday that texts you and says, I can't make it, you can reply and say, no problem, I have a preview scheduled. There's no obligation to buy, but I would love you to either stop by my home or join us on Zoom, or however you're going to make that work. So I think Rebecca and I will talk to you about that a little bit more. It's something that she and I are also doing. You're welcome to come into those through Zoom. So I just want to kind of give you that information to start. We are here to brainstorm. I think the other thing that we need to mention is Rebecca and I do these Style Tip Fridays, which is why this call will never go past 10:45. Every Friday we do a 30-minute Fashion Friday Style Tip thing for our clients. We call it Style RX. You are welcome to get off this call and get back on and watch it. Today we're discussing body types and how to dress your own. And we have 2 guest stylists coming in. We do drop those videos into our YouTube channel. Those are videos that you can use at your resource. You can watch them on your own. I would advise you to subscribe to the channel and ding the bell for notifications. And if it's just something for you to watch that's entertaining, that might help you in a show, great. If you want to come live and watch us do it, that's even better. But those are the kind of touch points I wanted to go over, Rebecca. So if you want to bring something up, and then we'll let them kind of talk to us where they're at. But those are the important things that I felt going into February, because that's going to lead you into booking into March with the preview and everything. So we want to cover bookings and everything else for you.
Yeah. So bookings are huge. They're the lifeline of our business. And like Amy was saying with the preview, it's a fantastic way. I like to have it at the beginning of the month personally, because it's a great way to book hostesses for later in the month too. So you get a gal that comes in and they're like, oh my gosh, I've got 20 things that I have to have. No problem. We will, gather your girlfriends and get those at a discount for you. So whether you're doing them virtually or in person, always know that you have that in your back pocket. And by front loading it, you're also enabling yourself to book that month yet, as well as into the following months. And so how are you all feeling about bookings? Where are you at there?
Yeah, Margot, I know you kind of talked about that. So what are you doing now to lean in and move forward? Oh, you're on mute, sweetie.
I have 3 previews scheduled this next week
Oh,
here at my
great.
home, 3 different nights. So
Get your calendar. Are they going to be in person or virtual?
they're in person here at my home.
So have your calendar open with your dates blocked out in some way so that you can lead them right into booking a show for you, especially if they get a lot on there.
Yeah. And a side note on that, I never open up my actual calendar for them so that they, right now, I mean, it's crazy how much stuff is in there. But when I first started, it was a little bit snowbound. And so I didn't let them see that, oh, well, you can have your choice of 30 different dates if you'd like. So I printed out the calendar from the back office in Clio. And if you want that just emailed directly to you, I can do that as well. But I just did in highlighted boxes the 5 dates or whatever that I was able or willing to do shows. So build into that scarcity mentality a little bit. And I always block out all of this season. So I have all of basically until the end of September blocked on my calendar as far as my availability, because something that is so important for you to just get started at the very beginning is rebooking your hostesses in the moment for the next season. Because then you don't have to race around in July and be like, oh my gosh, I have to get things on the calendar. It just organically happens and it's there. So be purposeful now about what you're doing and getting on your calendar for fall. And that might be a little bit of a different mindset for you. I think sometimes people are very like, okay, what's happening today or this week? And we really have to put the business hat on and be thinking about, all right, let's book out 6 months from now.
And that lends to you presenting yourself as a business professional. So it's no different than going to a dentist office and they say, okay, you had your cleaning today. Let's get your appointment set 6 months down the road, or your hair appointment. You get yourself on that calendar. And so Rebecca and I are huge advocates of, you are your own brand. You are what represents your business. So however you carry yourself at one person's show, there's going to be 5 people there, minimum probably, that are watching how you conduct your business. And so that will then create that snowball effect into future business. So if you are asking each person if they want to host, if you are asking each person if they had a great experience, that is going to carry forward. Exactly. Book every show. You should be able to book 2 shows, the current hostess, and possibly a new one from that evening.
Yeah. So how are you guys feeling about your verbiage for asking for those bookings? I know you're all new. And so for you to just call, or if you're seeing an acquaintance on the street somewhere and she says, "Oh my gosh, you look amazing." How are you broaching that? Do you know what to say?
So for me, I haven't done any shows yet, and I barely finished my training, and then I got swiped out of Scoop after the first day because I had to
And I
handle
meant
a
to say that.
situation.
So
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. I wasn't sure who knew. So, so I'm trying to catch up, and I haven't done a show. But for me, my regular full-time job is I deal quite a bit with domestic violence and with women in general. And so my verbiage is probably different than, I guess in my training, it was like, I love the way she said that. Somebody said, you know, how do you say it? What do you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. And people are always like, I dress beautiful women like you, right? And so for me, I just transition into what my community knows me as, right? My professional colleagues and the people that I've helped in their families, into this is how I nourish myself. And this is a company that gives back to the very people that I serve in a different capacity. It's important to me, and I'd love for you to enjoy it with me. And PS, 90% of the stuff I'm wearing is from the company.
That's
And
perfect.
so, you know, I just wear as much as I possibly can all the time, right? And ordering the business cards so that I can just whip them out, you know, and book. I'm going to do probably 99% of my business online, just de facto.
Can I give you a little tip on your business cards?
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
you're from the industry where you hand a physical card. One great best practice that you can all do is create a contact for yourself in your iPhone. Um, if you have an iPhone, so you will see at the top of mine, I have a business card that says Amy Wolstenhume. And one great thing is if somebody says, "Oh, I would love to work with you," you can say, "Great. What's your cell phone? I'll share my contact information with you." And then you already have their phone number to follow up with them. And when you share your contact information, if you can see the screen okay, I actually have my website, our Facebook group, everything in there. So all they have to do is touch the link. So instead of handing them a physical card that they may lose in their purse or somewhere, I will ask them for their cell phone. And I actually did it last night in a show. So I'll show you what that looked like for me. I still don't have their names. They're right here, the Julie Burr, whatever. I don't have their names programmed. So when I text them, I send them their information and I text their name at the bottom and any note so that they know they're getting that text from me. And that's what we discussed. And now I have 2 new contacts to follow up with today, and one of them is to book a show. So if you want something seamless that's really easy and all your information is there and it will save you a little money on your business card, you can absolutely do it that way. One other idea that I have, and I might have given my last one away, but Cabby does have postcards in the back office and they're really hard to print on. So I ordered some 5x7 labels and I do a menu of services and print it with a QR code. And I hand that out instead of a business card because it's a visual with a picture. And so I can also share what that looks like to you guys through email. It's great. It's quite eye-catching. And I think I just gave the last one away last night. So
The other thing I would say for you, Kristen, is especially if you're planning on doing the majority of your business virtually, I would 100% have just a set day and time of the
Wait, you just went on mute.
sorry, had a call
A
come
set day and time.
you, hey, I would love for you to experience the close. I have a virtual gathering every Sunday night at 8. Would you like the link to join me this week or something like that? Just so you've always got that in your back pocket.
That's a great suggestion. And Jamie and I had talked about it. For me, what works is Fridays. So we did the same type of thing where we did a Fashion Friday schedule on my calendar and blocked it. So yeah, I'm excited for sure. And Amy, that cell phone trick is great. I used to be in sales and we used to go like this. Great, I'll send you my virtual card. What's your cell phone? And then you just don't look up. You just wait. And then they feel they'll just give it to you and you're like, oh, fabulous. And then you just shoot it out.
Yeah. So I love to get their name and add it to it so then I can go in and program it into my phone. Sarah, we haven't heard from you yet. How are you doing? How are you feeling with your business? Where are you at with booking?
Ground zero. No, just life with small kids and trying to, I run a different business too. So it's just, I've been having trouble balancing it all. So I'm at ground zero. Just got my stuff ready to go, and Rebecca comes next weekend. I do my first preview show. So I'm excited. I sent out, oh my God, I don't know, 200 and some catalogs and invitations, which we know we won't do that again, but just to send out to the ladies that I'm taking over for. So I have her clients. That way, again, it's a visual. My business card's stuck on every single one of those catalogs. And so I told them about the open house. Her suggestion was to do a small event and keep it small and just invite a few people. And I was open to that, but I just ended up inviting everybody. But I left it as, I will touch base with you to book a time. Just because of COVID, everybody's still scared here, which I don't blame them. So that's where I'm at, just ground zero. And I've not worked on booking. So now I have the opportunity. They all have the catalogs, the information. So now it's about following up with all of them.
So Sarah, one thing you could do to make your follow-up super easy for the time slots is to do a sign up genius. So you get a link, you can forward it out, you can decide which time slots you want and for how long they're going to be. And you can say, okay, I have 10 RSVPs, so I have 15 time slots available. When they're done, I'm done for the day, and send the link out and you'll get an email of when they sign up, and then you can also follow up with them somehow. But it may save you a little time because they'll have a visual for the day. So you could create the wording with that, like that, okay, you got a booking. If if you're getting this email, you're one of the lucky ones that RSVP'd in time. Now I want you to pick which time slot works for you. First come, first serve on the time slots. Send it out. They'll fill those out really quick. And it may save you some time on the phone, but it's a personal preference. I have done the Sign Up Genius for several different things, and it seems to work really well.
Perfect.
And so also on that, Sarah, how are you feeling about what's the conversation going to look like when you do reach out with those? Do you know what you want to say?
No.
All right. So Sarah has a little bit of a unique circumstance because she had a stylist in her area that retired, and she was gifted several hostesses and clients. And so while it's a huge opportunity, we're also learning that it is a little bit of a hurdle because there's not been any connection there for the most part. And so she's building relationships with these women, and they've been with this other stylist for probably 10 years. She was a stylist for a long time, and she retired. So it's a little bit of a different circumstance, but you guys can use probably the same verbiage. But for Sarah, I would probably make sure that you add, I know Liz always took such great care of you. I want to continue that level of service and just let them feel at ease as they're making this transition, because sometimes there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in that.
Also on that, Sarah, now that I am aware of that, I don't know if you guys know, but I was a stylist for 10 seasons and left for 5 years and then had to rebuild my business. And so there was I rebuilt from the ground up, but there were 1 or 2 hostesses that had been asking for me since I left. So my team leader said, you know what, you should take this business back. Well, that being said, she and I ran our businesses completely different. So this is my point of where I'm getting with you. I tend to work really well with high-end business women that want follow-up. I have boundaries, and my team leader is a San Diego lady that is just very chill. She'll kind of bend over backwards for anybody. And so when I came into it, it caused a little friction because she also didn't do the presentation much. She really just liked to drop the clothes off. And I'm a firm believer in our presentation. I'm a firm believer in presenting yourself very professionally. And so there was a little friction there. So this is my point, you guys. Do not be afraid to have very healthy boundaries. There are going to be times that somebody will try to talk you into a date you cannot offer, or asking you for exceptions that you do not feel comfortable with. This is your business. And if you make those exceptions when you start, you will be in a world of hurt later. So please do not be too desperate to have a hostess come into your life. In the long run, they will accept you and love you with loving boundaries. And I'm saying that in a loving way because, of course, there's going to be those situations that happen that you will want to work around with them. But the only time I've ever had somebody push, it was when they were either not willing to do a show or they tried to get around the show just to get the discount, but really weren't willing to help me build. And then so for example, I had a lady the other day that has pushed me and I have held strong. And she texted me and said, hey, I really like these vintage samples, but I'm tired of buying samples that don't fit. Will you bring them to your show, which was somebody else's show hosting? And I politely declined her. I said, you know what? I'm so sorry you've bought samples that don't fit you properly. She did not buy them from me. So she's been shopping other stylists' websites. And I said, however, my hostesses work really hard for me. And the evening of the show is all about the current collection. I said, I'm willing to size you off current pieces if that will help you, but I'm not comfortable bringing vintage pieces to a sample, like to a show when my hostess I know works really hard for the sales. And so it can be uncomfortable, especially when you're taking over or caring for somebody else's clients. Definitely meet them where they're at, but don't be afraid to say, I really appreciate that she did that for you. However, and then go into what you're comfortable with. And you may lose a few of her clients, but they may come back in time, which has happened to me as well. So use healthy, loving boundaries. And I want to add the word loving because sometimes we can have a strong, I'm very red, I'm yellow red. So I know at times I can come across abrasive if I'm not careful with my verbiage.
For sure. Excellent words of wisdom, Amy. All right, Margot, how about for you? How are you feeling around bookings? And I know you've got your 3 previews this week, securing bookings at those previews to move forward.
I guess I'm not sure what you're asking me, Rebecca.
Do you know what to say? Do you know what to ask? Do you know how that conversation unfolds?
No, and when you talk to the others about, when somebody says, oh, I love what you're wearing or something, I have not been able to say anything about my business because I would be written up for solicitation while I was at work at the hospital. I have had to be very, very careful in that respect. So like Kristen, my entire outfit might be from Cabby, and there are a few that know that, but I have had to be very, very careful in that respect. And so I have not practiced that or perfected that.
Margot,
Okay.
have you sent out a letter of excitement or a letter announcing your business to friends near and far?
I did that in the fall.
Okay. It might be a good thing for you to revisit now that you are retired, because it is exciting and it's a new phase for you. If you wear your Cabby Cutest to Walmart or whatever the store is that you go to in Cache Valley, have something in the back of your mind because Cabby does come with compliments. I don't know if you guys have noticed that yet, but I mean, look at Sarah's cute combination. Somebody's going to say, oh, I love that color. So if you have something in the back of your mind that's a quick 30-second, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm a stylist for a designer out of LA and I just retired as a nurse. I'm so excited to try something new, or whatever it is that feels authentic to you. It has to be about you and your story and why you're there. But, have a postcard or have a lookbook in your purse that you can quickly hand with your information on it if you're not comfortable getting their cell phone, and just say, thank you so much. I'm in a new phase of my life and I'm nervous, but super excited about this. I'd love to have you over to check it out. Whatever is comfortable for you. Just the thing is, you guys, it still has, just like standing in front of the curtain, to feel comfortable, you actually have to speak the words. You can't just have them in your head, or else you'll get in front of the curtain in front of people and you'll freeze. So, whatever you want to say about your business, say it while you're vacuuming. Hi, I'm Margot. Do something, but say it audibly, because although it seems very minor, it is actually a big hiccup, because that's when that fear will overtake you if you're not used to responding that way. So figure something out, make it work for you. This is new for you, and it is going to be something that some fear might creep up, and you don't want to. Nobody in this business wants to come across salesy or pushy. That's a number one fear for everyone. So if it's authentic and caring, if you can even say, I found these clothes in the most stressful point of my life, and I noticed when I put them on, I felt really good and could carry on with my day. So I decided to become a stylist, or something that feels authentic, so that they ask you more about it. It will be something that will be good, and that may change over time. That's the one thing you guys need to know. Your why and your vision can adapt the longer you're in this business. So allow some grace and flexibility to yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, Mario, for everybody, it's just important for us to always remember that while we never want to be that pushy woman that's chasing someone down, we also are the only vehicle that women have to get into these clothes. And so it's important for us to be willing to, when we first start out, it feels a little bit bold to say, this is what I do, and this is how I can work with you. But as you do it more and more, then it becomes natural. So I think it's important to remember that even if it doesn't necessarily seem natural right now, it will.
I'm feeling like I should share a story from my show last night, you guys, and I'll keep it brief. But I didn't know the full circle until this woman became very comfortable with me. Just like talking to someone naturally in the grocery store, you're going to have those moments in your shows where you're not sure if you should approach someone or not. And this woman walked in probably 20 minutes into my presentation. I was about done. I could tell she was tall, but carried some weight around her hips and thighs. And she was in scrubs and a big sweater and just kind of sat back in the room. And I had Zoom going at the same time I had live people. So the first thing I do is always say, let me give the Zoom people 5 minutes. If they want something up close while you guys are getting your drinks, then I'll give you some attention. And so about 20 minutes after that, she just kind of sat back and was actually pulling people away to chat and laugh with her, which is fine, but we want people at the curtain feeling really comfortable, right? I'd never met this woman, didn't know anything about her. And for me, I never want someone to feel uncomfortable. It's not about me having the fear of approaching her. I don't want to push her to the point she wants to run away in tears. And so I approached her last night and everybody else was trying on. And I said, Jamie, I would love to see you in something. And she, oh, no, 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 no. I'm just here to support my friend. I said, that's okay. She goes, but the clothes are great. And I said, that's okay. I would, she goes, and then immediately, she says, well, I can't afford anything anyway. And as she started speaking up, she mentioned she just got promoted as an administrator in the nursing home she works in. things she needs clothes to look her part, but she's so afraid because she's never had a good shopping experience. So I said, okay, we have this incredible app. I'm not going to push you to buy anything, I promise. But you have my sole attention tonight. And if you'll at least let me try you on in a pair of pants and a jacket, if you decide you need something for your job later, you can do that on your own on your app. And I will even walk with you to the bathroom. Nobody needs to know. I have all the extended sizes, you guys. I'm a firm believer that everyone needs to be able to put 3 pieces on, a jacket, a shirt, and a pair of trousers or jeans. So I grabbed her a size 14 Lido cardigan, Lido crop, and I grabbed my size 18 high crop, whatever, and we walked to the bathroom. And I said to her, I said, now, these may or may not fit, but I want you to try both sizes on so we can get a good idea of where you're at. And I gave her the Lido crop first, knowing it might be too small, knowing it could cause a hiccup. She went in the bathroom and started screaming with the door closed, why are these pants so comfortable? They don't even fit. So I opened the door. She had about an 1.5 inch gap from the button to the zipper. And I was just like, see, I told you, it doesn't matter. You'll fit in the size 16, but try this 18 on. I'll get a better idea. They were too big. And you guys, she was ecstatic that something was too big. And so then she started to trust me. Long story short, by the end of the night, she was strutting her stuff out in the room with everybody going like this. We worked, got her a capsule in her favorites. We did not put anything in the cart, but we got to talk about her new role. We talked about column dressing all the way navy blue. She's very triangle, so I talked to her about bringing color to the top to balance out her hips. We put on the checkup blazer. We put on a couple different things. We did a capsule in her phone, and you guys, she had over 14 favorites in her favorites by the time we left. And she was almost in tears, and she thanked me over and over and over. And she kept saying, we don't get this at the store. I've never had this experience. She's considering hosting a show so that she can afford the clothes she wants. And it was just a huge reminder to me that even if I have a hesitation and I'm hearing a green light clue or I'm hearing somebody, it is my cue to step up to them and be a professional and give them an others focused moment of attention. And nobody else in that room cared that I was ignoring them for a while, because they could see her confidence just raise and her countenance change. And so this is bigger than the clothes, you guys. This really is about serving them before the sales. And if you're authentic in that, they will feel that. So go into your business with confidence and know that somebody is waiting. And what I didn't know is she drove from work, sat in the driveway, tried to get out of her car and said, no, she started swearing, this shit isn't fun, stayed in her car. And if it weren't for the hostess's husband seeing her and knocking on the door and saying, just come in, just have some fun, the girls have fun in there, she was going to drive away and go home, but something kept her there. So do not be afraid, even if you don't really know what you're doing, to approach someone and say, let's just have fun together. I'm new at this too. And so I just felt like I should share that, because it was one of those situations, no matter how long I've been doing this, no matter how long Rebecca's doing this, that never gets old. And you have to believe in yourself. Kristen, yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm like slightly emotional because the first time I met Jamie, some guy was like, you should call this girl Jamie. You're always looking good. You should call her. I called Jamie. She wanted to FaceTime me immediately. Are we all from Utah, by the way? I missed it. Oh, okay.
Kansas.
So Rebecca's from Kansas. Sarah is from
Kansas.
Well,
Are you, Amy, where are you from?
I'm from just outside of Park City.
Okay, great. Fantastic. So Jamie drives from Logan, Utah down to where I am, which is over an hour and a half. She FaceTimed me and she was like, telling me about Cabby, and I had just come off of an extraordinarily difficult day at work. And as she's talking, I'm so exhausted listening to her, and she's so happy. And I was like, you know what? I can't, like, this is not going to work out. I got to go. Like, I wasn't sure what this is about. And I don't think that I'm not your girl, you know? And she's like, well, how are you? And she asked me twice, which was too many times, and she meant it. She wasn't, you know, and I immediately like started crying, and I was like, I'm really sorry. She goes, this was Friday night after work. It was like 7 o'clock. I was an hour late for the call. She said, where do you live? I told her Draper. She drives from Logan to Draper the next day with the entire friggin' rack, all the clothes. And she goes, I'm coming to your house tomorrow morning. And I'm like, you really don't have to. It's really not a thing. I'm from New York City originally. I'm Black. It's black turtleneck, black blazer, black pants. I don't change it. I'm like Steve Jobs all winter long. She shows up. She's like, I want you to try on the clothes. I'm like, you know what? I don't ever wear jeans. I look like crap in jeans. I was like the most resistant. My kids were there, and they're just like, everybody was I was such a jerk. I wasn't trying to be. I was just tired, and I don't wear color. And I tried on all the clothes, hearted like 36 items, bought a bunch of stuff, became a stylist. I had the hiccup. I'm back. And I wore all these different colors. And like, it's so true. The Cabby experience is not about the clothes. Like, we can all buy clothes, right? And I'm from New York, so I've always had a personal shopper. But like, it's about someone giving a crap about your life, right? It's like I'm wearing a flower shirt that I would never wear in my entire life because Jamie Anderton drove an hour and a half to my house because I shed 3 tears and she knew that I needed it. You know what I mean? And that Scrubs lady, like, she'll never forget it. I don't even know this lady. And I'm like, I'm so happy for her. You know what I
You
mean?
guys, I have not stopped smiling. I'm still getting goosebumps, and she has no idea what it did for me. She thinks that I just made her smile. And so it really is, you guys, we are in this as a service business. If you go into your business with healthy boundaries, loving boundaries, and always think of them before the sales. And don't get me wrong, Rebecca and I both have some pretty steep goals, and we've worked dang hard to hit those numbers. But we've always put the service of others first. It will pay forward over and over. Hi, Sandy. We're not done with our team call. We'll be getting off in just a minute, but you can hang in with it. No, you're totally fine. So it will carry you forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want you guys to all know that there's going to be frustrations in your business. It's like any other thing in life. There's going to be cancellations slash postponements. I don't really ever let anybody cancel. We postpone to a different time. There's going to be people that don't show up. You're going to, get gut punched every once in a while, but it's those times like what Amy was just talking about that fill your cup, and that happens 9 times out of 10. There's very minimal frustrations that I've found, but I just want you to know from the beginning that, hey, things are going to happen, and you've just got to go at the world with a real abundance mentality and don't buy into the scarcity stuff. So if I had a couple goals for you guys moving forward into next month's call, when we get to meet again, it would be to be very purposeful about getting women on Cabby Tap, like Amy was saying earlier, and then talking about how favorites are free, and just add those to your favorites list. We don't want to forget about them. We'll get your sizes down. And then you put your problem solver hats on and you figure out, okay, so I know that her budget isn't going to allow for the 50 things that she has in her favorites. So let's figure this out for her. And that's the level of service that you really want to give your gals.
And one quick reminder for Margot and Kristen today. I know, Kristen, you're at work. If you can get on Sid Ryan's noon Zoom calls every Friday at 1 o'clock, you're going to see our executive founder be so human and so raw and so real. And even if you're not active in your business and you get on those calls every Friday, it will breathe life into your lungs. So if you can please make these monthly calls mandatory on your calendar. You are always active with us. We can reach out and help you more. So my assignment for you would be to be very intentional in your thought, blocking your calendar out, coming to us and not being afraid to lean in on us. Wrap your arms around each other in this group as well. And we can send a group email out. Kristen, I don't have your email. So if you will send it to Margot and have her text it to me with your cell phone as well, I would love to have that in my
I'll just put
contact.
it in the chat for everybody to grab right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Then we can circle back. Rebecca and I need to end this. So quick reminder, we do have our YouTube channel. We have our Style RX sessions. You guys go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to it. That way, when you are like, I don't know, going to the bathroom and you're like, okay, I could check a 20-minute thing out and speed it up 2 times because I want to see something, do that. If it's anything that helps you, do that. So this collaboration with Rebecca and I is not going to die. So just get to know each other, because with us, you guys get to come along and we're going to wrap our arms around you. So with that being said, if there's any questions you have, feel free to email us. I will go ahead and email you my email, Kristen, and you'll have that as well. Lean into us. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to log out and come back in at 11, you'll get to see us talk about body types with 2 special guests. Hey, Sandy, I know you're here. We're going to end this because we're recording it. So you'll need to dial back into the same link.
Thanks,
Okay.
ladies.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one, you guys.
Take care.